Hi, this is Raul Sandoval with Sandoval Law Firm, and I'd like to put something together for you regarding a question that I get quite often, and that's how much will my divorce cost? The short answer to that is it depends. Of course, we can always control our actions and endeavor to negotiate and settle a case. We can endeavor to approach the case in an amicable fashion and ultimately try to keep costs low. However, what we don't know is should we expect from the other side. We can't control the opposing party's actions. We can't control their approach or their ultimate goals. And unfortunately, sometimes that can be to one, litigate the case, or two, some people just want their day in court. And so how does that affect the cost of your divorce or your custody case or your contested matter? If both sides approach it in an amicable fashion, both sides are willing to compromise and settle the case, then that can ultimately keep costs low. Obviously, the flip side to that is if one side is wanting to litigate the case and ultimately wants their day in court, that will affect the overall cost and increase the cost of the case. And so here are a few examples. I've had a case where both sides came to the table and are ready to negotiate and settle the case. They've done their homework ahead of time in terms of what are their assets and debts to be divided. And they put together a spreadsheet of how they think they want to apportion those assets and debts. Of course, I provided some insight on what I think a court may do in their situation. And so ultimately, we were able to finalize the case, get it done in under $2,500. The flip side of that is I've had cases where we may be willing to compromise and settle the case, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the opposing party was willing to do the same, and so therefore we had to litigate the case. And if we had to go to trial, then that ended up costing us tens of thousands of dollars. To help keep costs low ahead of time, parties can, if possible, can walk through what they'd like the outcome to be and maybe try to reach some compromise ahead of time before moving forward with the divorce or custody case. And if you can reach those general terms of agreement, you can take them to your respective attorneys and request that you start working on the paperwork, the final orders. Additionally, if it's a divorce case, you likely will have to divide your assets and debts. So it's a good idea to start compiling documentation that provides what the current state of those assets and debts are. And that can really help move the case along a bit quicker and therefore hopefully keep costs low. Try to do some work ahead of time before you get your case started, before you go meet with your attorney, and then walk your attorney through what your goals are, what you've done. And if you guys haven't done those things ahead of time, you can still do some homework before your first meeting with your attorney. Provide him or her with the documentation, again, if it's a divorce, that shows what your assets and debts are, and then your attorney will walk you through quite a bit of other steps that come along with the division of a marital estate. I hope you found this helpful. Until next time.